Hopefully, no internet issues.
That's
all I want.
Last one was funny.
If there's no in it, oh mate, honestly, I was tearing my hair out.
Yeah, that's laughing.
Never had anything like
it. We could see it all. That was the thing.
Well, that was the annoying thing because I didn't even know I was on or off or what. It was like, oh my God. Let's have a look. Are we live yet? I think we're live.
Yep.
Haven't come up yet on my screen, but it does that a lot. So I'm assuming we are in fact live.
We're live.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Fix, episode 104. And what's special tonight about this episode, other than the fact, of course, that it's brought to you by the legendary Western Survivor. Only real men can eat this. People who do survive, who struggle through the most harsh and difficult conditions, like Rolly Ray, ladies and gentlemen, because our technical director, Rolly Ray, tell him how you feel, Rolly.
What's worse than shit? That's how I feel.
Next, Peter, down.
Yeah.
So he needs to get on his Western Survivor, get blasted full of that stuff at www.westernsurvivor.ca, and he will come back.
I just want to say to Lachlan, keep your eyes on the road, man.
Yeah, don't.
Hey. Looking down, and I'm getting panic attacks.
Why? Right. I'm a single dad. Sorry, I'm a dad. I live my life on the road. It's all good.
Yeah, don't frigging die live on here, mate.
Nah.
That would make great television. Views. Think about the views, man.
Yeah. So
Ryan's texting him. Come on, do it. For the grab.
You probably gentlemen. For those people who are just joining us, I think we've over 100 people in the chat at this point in time, or watching the show at least. It's going to be a little bit of an Aussie theme show tonight to some extent, because big event this weekend. I mean, there's a couple of events on this weekend, let's be honest, and we will try and cover those off as well, but most of the headlines were grabbed by the over-the-top. The Aussie Arm Wrestling Federation paying homage to the biggest of all arm wrestling events, the original over the top in Vegas. And I want to start there because Ray, did you get to catch this? Were you in the air?
I just saw some video. I bought internet where I was flying, but it was so shitty we couldn't see anything. So I bought the pay-per-view. I have it all, but I still haven't got the chance to watch the whole event. But from what I saw, it looked amazing and a great job. Yeah,
I think let's start with the aesthetics. Because the amount of effort that must have gone into that. I mean, you guys tell me who was involved. I mean, I know obviously Phil Rasmussen, great dude, Phil. Always seems, I mean, he's done a fantastic job with the Aussie arm wrestling setup, but I'm sure he had some staff assisting him with that. But the stage set and the fact that so much attention to detail had been paid.
That's all. That's Tom Glacier. Tom Glacier is the man who did all that work. I mean, Phil Rasmussen, I think, he's got to take a lot of credit for that as well. But Tom and Glacier had the vision, and Tom and Glacier did all the tradesman work. The guy's been working for weeks and weeks and weeks relentlessly, giving up his own time and energy to replicate exactly the staging that was used in the overtop for the preliminaries, the four-way table with even down to the overhead labels of what table was what number. It just looked exactly like the movie. And then when they got to the finals, they condensed it down to the single table, added an extra tier to the stage, but the theming, the colors, the lighting, the music of the room, it felt like you'd jumped in a time warp and you were back in over the original over the top. It was amazing. It made us feel like superstars, and the aesthetics. I don't think I've personally seen better aesthetics for a tournament setup.
Yeah, it looked really excellent, and a massive congratulations to Tom. Is it Tom Glacier, did he say?
Yeah, that's the one.
Tremendous effort, mate, because, obviously I can only tell you how it looked on the stream, but tremendous effort. Absolutely fabulous. I mean, he really had gone for it, and he nailed a lot of the detail, didn't he? He really did. It was awesome. Looked exceptional. Obviously, it was a big event for was that the biggest event in the history of Aussie stuff or not?
I think so. Previously, we've had Arnold's Classics be our biggest events. We've had decent attendance, but we've never had such a venue where it where arm wrestling was a spotlight. So where Arnold's was always just part of a fitness expo, this was a dedicated expo. We had 700 tickets sold to it. So we had fans of the sport in there, people that were just genuine fans, not arm wrestlers, but just fans coming to watch arm wrestling. And that was amazing to see that and a room of 700 people watching. It was crazy. Couldn't believe it.
I mean, that's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Just the fact that you're getting fans at an event, a live event like that. I mean, and 700 of them. I mean, which of course is the population of Latvia. Well, actually, it's 702 because Rolly Ray and Giannis are back in Latvia.
When we're back, it's 702. So
it's 702 people actually in Latvia, but only one of them's got that shirt and belt combo. What you need to know. That's what it's all about, Ray. I can't raise him tonight, guys. He's trying to work with Rolly Ray a little bit because, bless him, Rolly Ray is struggling. The lad has got, when you really get the kicked out of you with a jet lag, and that's where Ray is at. He's put on the Devon Larratt hoodie. He's trying to raise himself.
You just get back home from USA, right? Like how long ago?
Yesterday evening. So I slept the whole night, was good. Then I slept the whole day, was terrible. My head feels like it's gonna explode. I'm sleepy and I'm not at the same time. It's weird.
Yeah. Have you got the old spinning room yet? The bit of a dizzy thing going on.
Yeah.
That blows, doesn't it? You don't need that in your life, so. You look all right though, Ray. You still look like you've not aged a day. 14 at the very most.
The very most. Yeah.
The other massive news.
That hairline's starting to pull back though, eh, Ray?
Oh, come on. It doesn't. Come on. Oh, no.
It's all right, bro. Just commit. Just commit. It's fine.
Embrace the bold side. The bold side.
Yeah, exactly what you did.
Couple of super chats come in. And is V Poge from Australia?
V Poge. Oh, I wouldn't know. That name... No, it's got Canadian currency there.
Yeah, V Poge, let us know in the chat, mate. I'll tell you what he is. He's an Arm Wars member. That's what he is. Now then, V Poge, congrats to Lachlan on the win. By the way, the stream is still available for $10 right now, and that's 10 Aussie dollars.
US.
17 cents, something like that.
And it's like, 50 pence in England. Something like that. And it was an incredible event. It was, mate. It's very, very good. Very, very good to watch. Darko with a Swedish super chat. He's put Ryan took the wheels off and the fans went crazy. Oh, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. And now Ryan cheated Larry Wheels.
There it is.
Who do that? I mean, Ryan. Jesus Christ. No, tell you. But first of all, let's go to the winner. Ladies and gentlemen.
Before he crashes.
Oh, yeah, before he crashes. The winner of Mr. Lachlan Adair. Lachlan. Yeah. Firstly, mate, congratulations.
Thanks, sir.
And you would have to say, I mean, I don't know how you saw it, Ryan, but it looked pretty bloody dominant to me.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Look, I've been lucky to have a very, very large-handed King's mover to train with in Marcus ATTIRE. So once the first round that I had against Marte, I top-rolled him, and then he moved into that King's move, and it seemed to train like a terrible waste of energy to try and maintain my wrist when I knew I had the flop wrist pressed as a very, very comfortable and strong movement for me. So I just gave my hand up and dumped it. And then round two, which was the grand final, I thought I'd set up the press in the get-go, which was a mistake. It made my life a little bit harder than it should have been. But, still got the job done, and that flop wrist press training had really come to the fore.
Was that flop wrist press really a plan? Did you sort of, because you pulled Matty before, did you expect that was going to come and that was going to happen?
Yeah,
that's my fallback.
I knew we would drop into a King's move because that's what happened last time he calls, and it just seems to be something that he does once he gets opened up. He does drop into that move. So I'd been training that specifically and had discovered that any attempts to try to maintain my wrist was really inefficient and ran the risk of blowing my arm out. So it was just give it up. You can have it, and as long as I've got my shoulder and my tricep, I was good as green. So that was the plan going in. Is if my wrist rolls back, don't worry about it.
And have you been practicing that move against the Kings? Have you been training with Ryan on that? Because obviously you do a bit of Kings in, Ryan.
Well, as Lachlan was saying, Marcus ATTIRE is a pure Kings move. I've dabbled with the Kings move as well, but no one does it like Marcus in our club. So, and Marcus is
sort of polished at it.
Yeah. Marcus is pretty proficient at it, and he's a giant too. He's one of those guys that has a giant hand. So
Marta's got a really awkward hand, and Marcus is something similar dimensions, and then he's just got a massive mitt to try and get your hand around. Very difficult to control that when he rolls out on his joints, and his joints are so bloody big. It was a little bit of a use what I do have and don't worry about what I don't have. And I don't have that mid-size to be able to get that coverage. And Marte was no different. His thumb is so big that the only way that I could get good hand control on him, I felt at the time, was by trying to carve the setup and get a little bit of coverage from the bottom of my hand. But I didn't have that. So I just went hard out on the top roll, which I've kind of been doing most of the tournament anyway. So my only mistake was in the last round that I thought I'd try and get in early on the press. I should have just maintained the top roll and then transitioned like I did the first time I beat him.
In the final, I was going to ask you that because it looked like when you were watching it looked like you let him initiate. It looked like you were so comfortable or confidence is probably the better word, from the early round meet that you let him go. Did you back off a little bit? Did you attack?
No, I didn't. I just, like I said, I just set up trying to get the press in, and I didn't really commit as much as I needed to do the press off the go, which made me go on my bicep. And once I stopped him in that flat wrist position, I knew I just got to wait, and I could slowly feel his arm opening up, and I was able to get my shoulder behind it. Not as much as a lot of people might prefer in a flat wrist press, but it's another thing I've been training, and Ryan knows this. My diagonal press forward when I'm not totally in that very comfortable press position is something I've learned to be comfortable in.
Yeah,
it's just coming straight at you diagonally. Pays off. Hey, Jake.
How are you, Lachlan?
Let's welcome this guy onto the fix for the very first time. A couple of days ago, I was watching a show. Can't remember which one because this guy does a show every hour. But I was watching a show the other day that he was on with John Thompson, and he said, "Never been invited on the fix. Never been invited on the fix." He's passive aggressive, Jake, and he threw that one out there as he does. And I thought, actually, he's true. I should get his ass on the fix. And I honestly thought when Ryan came on today, I said, who I'm going to get on today if I get a chance? It's Jake. It's very early over there for Jake to get on. But it's funny because Marcus Thompson has just sent in a super chat, right? And this was before anybody knew you were coming on. You hadn't flashed up on there. And it's just put, congratulations to Lachlan and Ryan for a great tournament. And Jake for MCing for 9 hours. What a machine. 9 hours of MCing. You're a bad dude, Jake.
You look
like already bang! It was awesome. The first thing I've got to say, Neil, is I checked my watch. About fucking time you've invited the Aussie arm wrestler onto the fix. I tell you what, I'm definitely it was. Thank you for having me on, and guys, Ryan, Coach Ray, Lachlan. I've got a photo of Lachlan for his first smile at the tournament when I interviewed him afterwards. Yeah, it was 9 hours, Neil. But you know what it's like. Like I had the easiest job in the best seat of the house. I was in the middle of the stage, and I just got to call arm wrestling action. Everyone else that was doing the behind the scenes work, setting up, building tables, running the events, the registration. Man, my job was easy. 9 hours just flew by. Not gonna lie, loved watching the internet melt when Ryan pinned Larry. Not gonna lie, just watching everyone melt and think, let's find a way to play Ryan the villain. The whole event was absolutely superb.
See, at this point, I was going to bring in Ray, really, to get... obviously, the result, Ray, and you know how Larry did, but have you... Just so everybody knows in the chat, Ray's been traveling and is basically just landed back in Latvia. So he was probably in the air for some of the period of time, or certainly traveling to the airport for some of the period of time that this event was on. So have you got a chance to see any of Larry's matches on the highlights and stuff, mate?
Oh, what everyone posted, I saw all those matches, I think, yeah.
Now, one of the things that I picked up was that, and I think mostly from you, Ryan, people saying that Larry was opting to grip very low. He wasn't rising at all. His biggest threat was through the cup, which it often is, because he likes to pull in there and he's had a lot of success. As with all arm wrestlers, people tend to gravitate to where they feel most comfortable. From what you saw, Ray, do you think that he's improved, or are you still happy with how he's pulling? Because you were one of the guys that's done most work with him.
I think like he needs to recognize the opponents that are really, really tricky, like Ryan is and some others, where you need to go the high ground, you need to slip, or at least you need to fight for that top position, and then you can hook from there. And he was kind of relying that he will cup everyone, and Ryan just went through the side pressure. Basically, wherever he was going, Ryan just went it faster and just pulled him to the side. Same with Mario, I guess.
Yeah, very similar.
But that's like everyone is mad at Ryan. I'm like, clearly you guys don't know what arm wrestling is. Arm wrestling comes from that experience. Someone will fuck you so hard that you won't want to get fucked ever again, and you will improve. That's true. You go back to so many tournaments. You're like, oh, you know, and you improve on that.
Yeah, and absolutely. That was the main point that I tried to get across to the people. I mean, I can't blame the internet for going nuts. Obviously, there's a lot of people that are big fans of Larry, and a lot of people that aren't fans of me, and they just weren't happy that their politician didn't get elected and win that moment. So
Neil needs to pinch himself. Neil needs to pinch himself.
You realize I said that out loud. I mean, I make the odd analogy, right?
Yeah. Hey, I learned a lot of new stuff from USA. What can I say? What can I say?
His first time on this show, and he's impressionable. Sorry,
the people hate you, Ron, today. The people not like you, Ron. I'm baffled.
I was trending. I in the last 3 months, I'd been trending in a positive direction, and now this match has happened, and it's just spiked back the other
way. To be fair, that Ray made that point on the show the other week. He said, you have the most hated guys, but now Ryan, he's sort of climbing back up the ladder. He's becoming one of the most popular guys.
Taking a turn. Gone back.
Take a big shit on that.
Somebody just pissed the word wanker under your name and underlined.
But as you're saying, Ray, with the analogy you used, it's so true. Out of all of the moments that when you go to a tournament, out of every single moment as a newcomer, and even for me, like I walk away from my matches, the match I lost to Olimov Beksod is more valuable to me than any of the other matches that I had in the night. And so what Larry felt me do to him, what Larry felt Mario do to him, he will remember and go, I'm not going to let that same thing happen in the next setup. You need hundreds of those moments to piece it all together. And I'm sure that if Larry set up with me again, he would set up different. He would not do the same thing. Or maybe he would, because sometimes people say same thing, only harder. And it takes two losses for them to go, shit, I need to change something. But that's exactly those moments for Larry is the reason why he was entering tournaments. It was to get as many of those against different people as possible. So yeah, and the tournaments tell the truth. So many people talk about the practice pools and the practice this, that, and the others. The practice pools don't tell you the truth about yourself. They don't give you an honest audit. They give you a complimentary audit to say, hey, yeah, you're still a really strong guy when you get in your lane. Tournaments, it's an honest audit. It's bare boned because there's money on the line. When I'm chasing prize money, and there was significant prize money, as we know, in this tournament, there's no way yeah, it's all in this guy's pocket. There's no way anyone in the tournament is giving it into the bank. Yeah, and no one will apologize for taking everything within the bounds of the match and the way that the referees are handling it. You don't expect anyone to give anything when there's $10,000 on the line. You're going to get through as quickly and as as instantly and as efficiently as you can. And
yeah, Lachlan's not apologising for taking all the money at the event. So take what you can get.
Young Mario was like, "You're going to put money on the bar," and I'm like, "I'm going home. I got kids. I got a wife. I ain't giving up any of this. She'll kill me."
Yeah,
That's the first time I've seen Lachlan have speed. He really challenged Usain Bolt for the 100-meter dash to get that money safe and secure to his room.
I don't know what you mean, Jake. Lachlan Adair is known for being
fast as fuck.
Fast as fuck.
That's how he is. He's been very fast on this show for quite a while. Sean Brophy, man.
Ryan, who did you lose the second time to?
Olimov Bexod. I lost to Lachlan. I just put Blade down against Lachlan. I tried to make it look like a match, but I think I looked like I was running off the table at the same time as Lachlan flashing me. It was really weird.
Okay.
Olimov Bexod. I lost in the so I finished fourth. He went on and then took on Matteo Rangi. And that was my moment where I learned about myself in tournaments. And I was kicking myself in that moment because I didn't use my ace. And when I reflect on it, so what I mean by that is I tried to top roll him as opposed to just say bang on in a hook and let's grind it. And
thanks for clearing that up, Ryan, because for a minute I thought you were going to say because my ace was to him like he'd never been before. And so he never wanted to ever get to again. I'm glad that you didn't go down that route.
So Olimov, credit to him, he turned my top roll in, and then I started my hook way too out of position, and he was tight and perfect. So he executed really well. And so the lesson I learned was when you don't know someone, just use your ace. In a tournament, when you don't know someone, just use your ace. Don't ask questions. Use your ace. And I tried to get fancy. I tried to analyze his style and go, oh, maybe I should use a top roll. And a bit of advice from people in the room that had gripped up with him said, yeah, look, there's a gap there. And the problem was I was thinking ahead to Matteo Rangi, thinking, yeah, I'll top roll Bexod and then I'll hook Matteo Rangi. I should have just treated that as my final and just dug in for the grind. I think if I had initiated with a hook, it would have been possibly at least a close match. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it earlier on, mate, and very different approach to super match arm wrestling. And to be perfectly honest, you've definitely moved towards that area of the game. I mean, you're much more prepped for super match arm wrestling than you are for tournament arm wrestling. So sometimes a little bit of a run out in a tournament format's never a bad thing. I mean, I know, let's say, for example, somebody like me who's not been in the game for a while, if I went into tournament arm wrestling, truth be known, I'd probably find it harder than I would super match arm wrestling because there's minimal for error. And I'd still be rusty. I'd need to get used to the cadence of the refs, the whole setup, get the feel of the sport again. You know,
within my soul, it was so hard to accept that I didn't get to have a round 2, 3, 4, and 5 against him. I'm just like, oh, come on, I felt what I need to adjust. Can I please try it? Oh no, damn it. Yeah,
Olimov was the MVP of the whole day. He pulled 90 kilos, won the right arm, comes second in the left arm, and then third overall. He was probably my MVP of the whole day. He just went and then pulled overalls and had battles as well all day.
Like a little Uzbek Ray. That's what Ray does whenever he comes to arm wars. Every time you look up, it's Ray in a war. Honestly, I kid you not. So Sean Brophy, my man, has come in with a massive super chat. Sean, thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. He's put Neil has got all the internet bugs cleared up. Thank mate, absolutely. And Neil, great Sunday afternoon last week. Jake, Jesus,
that was. So, I sat there and it was almost better than if the show rolled on properly. You on mute running,
mate. It was.
Oh, it was hilarious. And then we had 10,000 technicians in the comments. Neil, do this. Neil, do that. And I was like, no, just let him go. Let the man sink. It's hilarious.
It was horrific. It was the word. Honestly, Lachlan, the worst night of my frigging life on it. I couldn't see what was going on. I thought, oh, I'll switch it to my phone. I went to switch it and it says you will lose the stream. And I'm thinking, oh, shit, I can't do that. The guys are still going. So I'm sat there and I'm thinking, can they see me? Can it? Oh,
we could.
Horrible.
And it was the best.
Hey guys, I gotta get to work.
Entertaining. I loved it.
Hey,
because we've all been there.
Yeah, I gotta get to work. So
Hey, never forget you're fast as fuck.
Fast
as fuck, boy. Well
done again, man.
Listen, Lachlan, we're going to set something up. I want to get you on during the week, either this week or next, mate. Yep. Just to talk arm wars and opponents and get some stuff bounced around in that area. We'll pick up.
Yeah, I'm pretty free this week. It's just Sunday, Mondays. I've got like 12-hour days at work, so yeah, we'll line something up for during the week. Yep.
Best moment of the tournament for me, by far.
Thank you.
When your dad jumped up on the stage at the end, mate.
That was
he got pretty excited.
That was
it. Pretty excited.
That was absolute quality. That's what it's all about, right there. Quality. Well done, Lachlan. Good pulling, mate.
All right, thank you. Okay,
congrats, Lockie. You're a stud, an absolute stud.
Thanks, boys. See ya. Bye,
mate.
I'll tell you the best thing, Neil. If you get Lachlan on, it's like, hey mate, I've got perfect opponent for you, arm wars, and he goes, yeah, I can't afford the flight.
Mate, listen, he joking aside, I've talked to Ray about this when we've been over, obviously you bounce around, what if this match happened? What if this match happened? One of the best things with Lachlan is because of a number of factors. The fact that he's not the long-levered guy, the fact that he's not going to be the most difficult guy to work out. You pretty much know what's coming. He matches up so well with so many guys. It's ridiculous. So well with so many guys. I mean, the classic one where you think, oh, that would work would be Jordan Soneth straight away. Because look at Ray. Well, we've spoken about that at the Iron House. And obviously.
Yeah, that's an awesome match. It's got good storyline, seeing that they both lost to Todd as well. That's really good storyline. Yeah, that's awesome.
What about Chef?
That's had years of storyline building that one. When that one goes off, it'll be amazing.
I can't wait. The Chef's got to be first in line in some ways, hasn't he? So Ryan's Exposed Cables come in with a super chat, and he's put, way to teach Larry a lesson, Ryan. Larry needs to get spanked over and over. Christ, this show's getting dodgy tonight. Don't let the haters get to you. No mercy. Can Lachlan grow stronger without other elite wrestlers in Oz? Hit the ceiling. That's like a bit of a backhanded. Can he get? That's one of my favourite super chats ever from Ryan's Exposed Cable. It's like, I'll give you some compliments, but tuck your ass in at the same time. Love it.
Yeah.
So.
There it is. Yeah, look, Larry's still in that early phase of working out how to translate all the weapons he has to the table. I'm really grateful that I got the opportunity to both pull him in a comp and then pull him on the side table. And then, because on the side table, I could feel what his best attributes were. His bicep is at a level that I've never felt anyone else's bicep at. I was able to control his pronator in the hook, but it didn't matter. He just dropped down on a bicep and pinned me. And I was like, whoa, that someone using purely bicep to pin me. I couldn't affect his pronator enough that he'd care. My side pressure couldn't scare him off his bicep. His bicep is phenomenal. But then I think back to the matches and how he wasn't utilizing bicep at all. He was just utilizing that leaning slightly forward, really low grip, like he's trying to dad move me and trying to curl it in. And so I know Larry's got a million coaches, but just talking with Larry about bringing in the presence of static bicep threat in his setup. Like, I know that for me, had there have been just a sensation of that bicep is scary in the setup, it would have changed the shape of and changed my confidence to go for what I would have done. I would have either run more or gripped deeper. But so Larry's still got a long way to go in terms of just understanding how to best bring his A game with the tools he's got. He's still rotation, and that's going to come in time. That you can't rush that, as we know. Same with wrist rise and things like that. But that fundamental platform of his bicep power, he's got something so significant to work with there. And I after having felt it in the practice table, I believe that I'm convinced he will become elite. because of how strong that bicep is. I've never felt a bicep like it, to be honest. And once those other things like rotation and wrist conditioning arrive, I think he'll be there.
So we just had Justin B with a super chat. He's put, has Larry addressed the cheat heard around the world yet? Ryan, you didn't but joke. Did you speak, joking aside, did you speak much to him on the practice table after the match and sort of go through, other than just pulling him on the practice table and letting him jump all over you, which you obviously did, you let him initiate.
You just show him how much your wrist was curled. You're like, so I started like this, you were like this. So it kind of gives me a clear that I'm kidding, joking.
So I did get the chance to discuss and break down what I felt and I basically told Larry, like, here's why it was so easy for me to get that away. Here's what I would have done if I was you to prevent me from doing that. I was very happy to share that with Larry. And the main thing was that voluntary, incredibly low grip that he took. When in the set grip, when the referee asked him, where do you want to be? He said under. He said the words under. And Tom kind of shadow boxed where he wanted to put his fingers in it, and he went even lower. So he really gripped me so low that his thumb was almost just like this, just up in the air. That was his closed thumb. And I said hi, and I said to Larry, look, ultimately at the end of the day, where you gripped me, Larry, there was nothing that could prevent me from cupping. It was entirely free for me to get wrist flexion. You were so low that it was nothing. I was always going to take away your pronation. And so it left you in a place, Larry, where because you're leaning forward and there was no bicep involved, there was no lat involved or anything, it was just your wrist flexion against the combination of my side pressure from here and my back pressure from here. I got to do all of that against just that. And so we broke it down and we talked about how he could have threatened me more in the setup and had a better chance of getting it into that lane that he can pin me in. So Larry was grateful for that, and we did get that opportunity. So I'm glad we did. And I'm certain that if Larry was to face me again, he would do something very different off the go. And he'd get, and that's the name of the game. If he goes and does something different off the go that will block what I did to him, he'll get to, I'll see it coming and I'll do another variation again. And that adds another piece to his game. And you just need hundreds of those pieces and then you're good.
The difficult thing for Larry is he's in that weird sort of middle ground that everybody goes through it, where in one movement or another, in one position or another, we've all been there when you're learning the sport, that you get to a situation where however much you try, you're not initiating. You're always reactive. Not sort of making the match happen for yourself. You're sort of tentative. Even if you're somebody who wrestles quickly like Lachlan, you're just not that quick out of the block. So unless Larry's pulling against a guy who is either one, inexperienced, or two, is a cart horse slow, he isn't initiating, and then he doesn't have the time to adjust. So you get someone like yourself, Mario even more so. I mean, Mario was another one that just...
He's your next Arm Wars star. Mario Tambachus is your next Arm Wars star. He is legit. I love that guy. I sent you the video, Neil. I couldn't help myself. And I said, that's your next Arm Wars star. Everyone in the chat, Mario Tambachus. Love that guy.
He hit very, very cleanly. What made me laugh about that was there was like this. It was funny. I'll send it over to you, Ray. Even the referee is bought into it. The referee claps when he walks away. which I thought, this is that biased Aussie spirit that we know and love.
Nah, mate, Danny will beat him.
Classic.
He's the people's champ. Everyone was so happy. Yeah, everyone loves Mario, and Mario loves everyone. So yeah, it was the only time throughout the event, it was like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, international superstar Larry Wheels is here. And everyone's like, oh, my God. And everyone's taking photos. And Larry was awesome with his time. But then when I called Larry Wheels versus Mario Tambachus, all you could hear was Mario. And then I legit reckon if Mario jumped into the crowd, they would have crowd surfed him back around to the table. That's how much. He's the people's champ. And yeah, I was like, if I had to pick one person to give Larry his first loss, I would have said, I hope it's Mario. And when he went bang, it was he was a rock star for that 5 seconds. It was unreal.
No, Mario's on point. He's really strong, isn't he? I mean, you know,
Mario now is
impressive.
Mario's number 3 in Australia now, in my opinion.
Overall,
I think overall, yes, yeah. I think he and I are neck and neck now. Absolutely, could go either way. Ben Carroll didn't come, and Ben Carroll's one of those side notes that's like, well, if he comes back, if he says he's going to be competing in Australia again, I expect him to come back in that top 4 and be one of the genuine challengers to Lachlan. But it's been a long time, and Ben's made declarations that he has no intent on arm wrestling in Australia. So whilst ever that's the case, that's he's sitting there in the bracket with a side note. But yeah, Lachlan won. I think
he's scared of you cheating.
Yeah. doesn't like the drama. I
just love it, Neil. As you're about to say it, Neil, you start giggling. I love when you're like, "Oh, I've got him here. I've got him here."
I was seeing it up. I thought Ray was going to go, but Ray's too tired to jump in on some of these. Ordinarily, Ray'd be flying in at these. He'd have already done about 4 by now, but yeah, not tonight.
You've walked up and know that's going 400 straight down the fairway, and you start giggling.
Some other really big performances in the arm wrestling sense was Jordan Davis beat Brett Coots on the right. That was a changing of the guard. Yeah, Jordan flashpin Brett Coots, which was that's a big deal. Big deal in the overalls for Jordan to do that. So Jordan ends up staying about where he is in the ranks, but Brett moves below Jordan, but Mario moved above Jordan. So Jordan's kind of stayed the same, but impressive win from Jordan to flashpin Brett Coots. That's something that it's been a long time since anyone's done that. Yeah.
And Brett and Larry obviously didn't meet, and that was a match that a lot of people were looking forward to seeing.
Yeah. They pulled on the side table, and Larry got the edge over Brett in the hook, which was impressive to see. But yeah, not in the tournament. They didn't get the pull.
Yeah, he didn't pull left arm all day. Didn't pull left arm.
Yeah, I'll tell you what was impressive as well. I saw Lachlan and Larry lefty.
Yeah.
And as Ray will tell you, Larry's left arm is no joke.
Yeah,
Lachlan was strong. Well, he said he had just tenderness, and it wasn't certain that he was going to be able to stay injury free if he did it. So he just wanted to do side table pulling with his left. But yeah, Lachlan looks phenomenal against Larry in the hook. He had no dramas closing him down, and
bloody impressive.
Man, the whole event looked phenomenal. I'm still up and about 48 hours later. That was one of the best things. I'm yet to rewatch the pay-per-view because I don't want to ruin my vision that I had all day. Everything was just superb. And yeah, it was amazing to have 700 people in there. It was, I cannot speak highly enough about this tournament. We'll be forever grateful to be a part of it.
Tremendous stuff. Let's knock over some super chats real quick, guys, before I lose them. So we've got Craig Vickerlund of Swedish Arm Wrestling TV is in the chat. Thanks, Craig. Hey, he got to 10,000 subs. Never has anyone been more deserving. Absolutely fantastic, Craig. Good for you, lad.
That was awesome.
Top man. And he's put, when Ryan took the wheels from Larry, the internet went bang. Yes, it did. And it's just it's good PR for you, though, Ryan.
Yeah, happy. It increases the people who don't like me. They don't realize they're increasing my chances of invites to other events.
Awesome stuff. So, Henry Bowerslaw, thank you very much for your super chat, mate. He's put Ryan wasn't the problem. The ref was to some extent. Great event. Jake was awesome also. Some of the refs didn't seem to be used to running foul rule set. Do you use it a lot, mate, over in Oz, the running foul rules?
We do. I think more events than not are under running fouls these days. So, I thought the refereeing was pretty good. We had a lot of matches to get through. I had no dramas with any particular moment, and I didn't personally witness any particularly bad ref calls or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, humans will make mistakes for sure, and athletes, as we all know, will always push the boundaries unless you're Larry sitting there perfectly well behaved. But yeah, I thought they did a pretty good job overall.
They were great. We only had 8 to 9 referees for 4 tables, so they didn't get many breaks. I think some of them had bloody catheters strapped to their legs so they could go to the toilet. They were just, they had no breaks, went through all day. And I think sometimes a couple of them were pretty happy. The super heavyweights on the right arm went a bit overtime, so then we were stuck on one table. So they got to sit down for 5 minutes. But when we were mentioning Tom Glacier before, I keep getting his last name wrong, Glacier, like he was building stuff till 3 a.m., was at the event at 6 a.m., and then once it was all ready, chucks a ref shirt on and refs all day. He was a machine, and the referees were great. No complaints at all.
Good job, Tom. Excellent effort there. Jeff Nicholson, thank you for your super chat, mate. He's not put anything on there, but thank you very much.
He said he's too drunk to put anything down. He sent me
Dizzy Busy 88 with a super chat. He's put, Larry is good for the sport, no doubt, but the whole pity or protectiveness thing for Larry is a bit much. He's been allowed to skip the line in the sport in so many ways, and he needs to understand it takes time. True comments.
He does.
I disagree.
Larry does.
Yeah, Larry does. He does get that. He's not rushing. He knows it. It's just that, we're just all watching the process. That's the only difference.
Yeah, Larry, I think, Scott, attitudinally, Larry is really, really strong, in my opinion, because the guy has taken, I mean, we're talking about an extraordinarily powerful lad who's probably got his pick of strength sports to go at. It's good for arm wrestling that he's chosen arm wrestling. The fact that the guy is involved in it's been tremendous, but it's a hard game to get into with very little experience and just get bad luck after bad luck after bad draw after ass kicking one after the other and keep dusting yourself off. So he deserves some success, and I'm sure it will come. Every credit to the lad showing up there, but he doesn't need to hang his head. He lost. He didn't.
No, he hasn't skipped the line at all. He created his own opportunities. It's not like he's gone to East versus West and pulled a big person. It's not like he's, Neil, chuck me on Arm Wars. I want to pull Ironhouse. He created his own events to have super matches, and these people have agreed to come on. So he hasn't skipped the line at all. He created his opportunity.
I think he means skip the line in terms of getting opportunities with training and things like that, mate. I think that's what he's referring to rather than.
Okay.
So it's more of a he's not going to get to that level, but I think the main thing is that Larry's not really worried about that. He seems to be in here for the long haul, and I hope he is. I really do. We'll see, won't we? Time will tell. But Juji Mugu, or as John calls him, Jake.
Juju Mugu.
The guy. I may have missed it, but did the Aussie version of Sherlock Holmes and Watson finally out-sat the bee?
Oh, geez, that was so much fun. That was the best. Well, according to my detective work, Sap the Bee wasn't there at the event.
He didn't show.
I'm unsure. I'm sitting on the fence. I don't know whether we have correctly identified Sap or if Sap's someone else. But either way, Sap is still out there at large and winding his web around the internet still. So well done to Sap. Could be Murray Mackay, maybe. I don't know.
So Juju Mugu
talking about Juju Mugu, sorry. John Brzenk, first time I ever heard him try to pronounce that name, he called him Jimmy Choo Choo, just so you know.
Yeah, don't know what's going on. We'll leave that one. So Juju Mugu with another one. He's put coach forget to set his username to Anakin. Yeah, he's gone for Top Roll King. It's the new look, isn't it, mate? Got to go with what you know. Fresh back, and he's the new Top Roll King. So Z's guitar account, thanks for your super chat, mate. He's put, I love Larry, but even a total spectator like myself was wondering why he was gripping Ryan so low. I could see that top roll coming from a mile away. Yeah, forced to react. Kevin Tamkai with a super chat. He's put, there's another super match for Ryan Blue Bowen. How about him versus Larry Wheels at King of the Table 5 or King of the Table 6? That would definitely put some more eyes on the sport. Has that been discussed at all, mate?
No, it hasn't been personally discussed at all. Obviously, I don't know whether I'm going to be on King of the Table 4 or not. I've had people say suggest ideas on a number of different people. So it's up to Core Sports as to whether they pick one and go with it. So I'll wait and see. But Larry has been subsequently, since this weekend, mentioned to me a lot as a possibility. People obviously saw the after pool where he was dominant. So it would be interesting to see. I don't know. It'd be up to Larry because he's declared that he doesn't want another super match for a year. But maybe he does now that he's felt a loss and then felt a victory against the same person in a different lane. I mean, I'm always down for it, of course, but just be up to Larry whether he wanted it. But it would be interesting, I think, to see if Larry could adjust based on what he felt. I'm sure he could, just how well he could.
This is a great super chat. Check this out. I'll tell you what, Jake, you've only been on this show once. You're already taking abuse, son. It's an Aussie thing. Here we go. Fish lip. Get this. Why does Jim Robinson have to keep shouting?
If I had a hat, take it off. I'm just an excited individual, I'm a happy man. But yes, I am loud. Well played. Well played.
Marcus Thompson, the king. Marcus Thompson, and legend of Arm Wars, this guy as well. Speaking of strongmen, was on Big Loz show, and he confirmed he was at an arm wrestling practice tonight and will dedicate it to it for 4 months. Interesting times. Yeah, Marcus, Loz is coming into Arm Wars. So Loz will be pulling in September in Arm Wars. We're going to definitely confirm his opponent very soon. At the moment, Rob Frampton and Lawrence Charley. Rob Frampton and Lawrence Charley will be in Arm Wars in September. So keep your eyes on that. 2 more crossovers. We're going to roll them out against Rolly Ray. How's that sound? Hey? Get on to the
wall. Dress me as a king, Neil. Come on.
That's it. We'll get him in there with Rolly Ray. We'll get Rolly Ray drunk. And we'll bowl him in them.
You know, I will harvest all of them.
He will. That's how he rolls. We wouldn't do that to you, Ray. We wouldn't do that to you, mate. You've become Arm Wars legend. Do you know what? As well, a couple of weeks' time, you're on. I know. I only found that out the other day.
About effing time.
Yeah. Oh, don't you? That's like Sandra, isn't it?
I'm so tired.
You haven't seen. I bet you haven't seen the show yet, have you?
I saw everything. We saw it. We saw both episodes. One when it was just coming out. Both when they were coming out. It's awesome.
In class, mate.
Stoica is the best bad guy we have ever had, I think.
Stoica is facing Ryan Bowen next.
Yeah.
Amazing. I can't wait. That's very exciting. Very exciting.
I'm gonna pin it on you and Jake. I'm gonna pin it on your ass in a minute. So get ready. Thinking about how you're gonna justify anything you say, son, in a minute. So Stephen Francis, I feel sorry for the refs. Hardest job in the universe. It is. But in Australia, don't worry about the refs too much because they don't give a fuck. They were literally, while they're on camera, the refs aren't bothered. As soon as Mario's walking off, they're going,
get it, son. Get it.
Absolutely. Yeah, serious. Amazing. I love that clip. That's a clip you want to get out there when you see the ref going, yes.
Especially when I even had the ref whisper to me, I've got 500 on you to beat Larry. I'm just joking, internet. I'm just joking.
It just popped up on my screen. Your internet connection has just gone bang.
When you were like that.
Yeah. Well, you were not only like this, but also like this. You're like just Australia, we start from under. Started
on a 45-degree angle.
Jake's on the mic giving it, and Ryan there, he's adopted the full owl. And he's permitted. It's kicked in before they go. Henry Bowerslow just come in with a soup chat. But sometimes the arm wrestling community is just awful. I cannot get my head around the hate for Larry. Larry's not getting any hate, is he?
No. Oh, yeah, he does. He gets absolutely ripped through.
Does he? No, that's not good.
Yeah, really.
That guy has done so much for arm wrestling. Skip the line. You mean pulling on events that he was put his own money into. Yeah, I think there's a bit of confusion on how that was put across. It might be my fault from the inflection or whatever you made. I think he's talking about skipping the line from he was saying it was more advice to Larry in terms of you're not going to get to that level quicker. Maybe how I read it that came across wrong. And apologies for that.
My bad. My fault.
Yeah, I think he meant just that he's got to be patient, stay patient.
The levels, yeah.
That far. So, Paul in with a super chat. He's put, if Olimov is that good, how good is the baddest youth WF champion? Is that Schoolboy? Schoolboy's pretty bloody good.
No doubt Schoolboy's good. Yeah, Olimov was awesome. He, like I said, he's the, I think a two-time or left and right, whatever it was, last year.
Left and right last year, under 21, 85 kilo world champ.
Yeah. There you go. And he was 90 kilos at the tournament. So yeah, he was a superstar. He was lightning in a bottle. He was incredibly quick off the go.
Is he 21 or is he younger than that?
I think I'm not sure.
21 or 22.
So we'll see him in the seniors shortly.
Yeah,
most
likely.
And yeah, he was awesome. He was awesome. It was great to have the Uzbeks there. Like I think Jake mentioned it. The president of the Uzbek guy, they presented some rings to the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation and Phil Rasmussen and Tom.
They were awesome.
It was awesome. They were very grateful.
How many?
But it was awesome. I think there were about 6 of them there. But Olimov was their star.
He was the guy.
Yeah.
Was he ever?
Yeah.
Yeah, about 6 to 8 from Uzbekistan. Singapore had a team of about 5, I believe. Yeah, New Zealand came with some power. They had 10 to 12. And I think India
one
had a couple of
one highlight from the New Zealand team. It was the 80 kilo final on the right arm. Sam Burnett and Josh Barnett. That was a screamer. Sam Burnett got the victory, but Josh Barnett, wow, he's real deal, powerful dude. I got a lot of respect for him after watching what he did. Yeah, Josh Barnett, Kiwi, 80 kilos, phenomenal.
Yeah, I've come across that guy before. So, my Pythagoras with a super chat. Is Corey West ready for Jerry Cadorette? What do you think of that match, Rolly Ray? Corey West, Jerry Cadorette.
Like Jerry needs to pull. Jerry hasn't been pulling for years. You know, what do we know? You know, ring rust or best shape ever. I don't know. No opinion. Plus, also I'm dead, so I'm gonna drop off. So I'll see you guys next week.
See you, Ray.
Okay, mate. Take it easy, fella.
Right.
See you, Ray.
Jeremy,
Corey West for sure ready for matches of that caliber. Absolutely.
Yeah,
we need the data on Jerry, on that waggly tongue. Like, I love Jerry, but yeah, he's making videos, but we're not, like, we all love seeing him on the table. We all know he can go, but yeah, it's just been a bit too long now. And now that arm wrestling is coming back into full steam and he still hasn't come on the table, yeah, it's very hard to gauge where he's at. But Corey's definitely ready for most people now.
I'm going to give my take on the whole Jerry Cadorette Corey thing and why it's potentially more interesting. For those of you who are regulars to the show, you'll have seen when I was on with Mike Todd, and I actually bet on Krasimir. I thought Krasimir was the favourite in there, but Corey had a chance. And the reason that I felt he had a chance was because when you meet Corey, when I shook hands with the guy, I think it was Atlanta WL, one of the first things you notice is how thick his hand is, monstrously thick. Very thick on the thumb, really, really big, chunky hand. And that makes it very, very, very difficult to grip him up. Now, when I spoke to Krasimir after the match, he was saying exactly that. He said, oh my God, his hand's unbelievably thick. I couldn't get any base, couldn't get any balance. He said, even when you got hooked in him, you weren't hooked because his hand is so thick. Now, the interesting thing with Jerry Cadorette is that, number one, the match is going to go to a strap. Jerry doesn't care about the hand. So the hand thickness of Corey is not going to make that much of a difference. He's just going to bail it, strap him, and then drive sideways on him. So that's a very, very interesting match, and it's a really solid test for Corey. Again, I would go with Corey as the underdog, as I did incorrectly this time, just because of styles. I think Jerry's a very, very difficult guy to get your head round. Michael Todd, obviously, very aware of that. And if you look at the track record of Jerry, when Jerry comes ready and he shows up, he's extremely tricky to handle, very difficult to beat. I think it takes some adjustment. The interesting thing is that Corey's so big, and if he's becoming more and more powerful, there's just a chance that he can meet Jerry absolutely head on and stop him from engaging that shoulder. So he's certainly a big enough man for that. He's certainly very, very strong right now. So it'll be a bloody interesting match. It's one I'd like to see. And I'd like to see him and Derek as well.
Yeah, that's got to be coming. Him and Derek.
Think so. You would think it's coming, wouldn't you? But so, Kevin Tamkai, have you guys mentioned John Brzenk versus Pavlo? I want your guys' opinion on that match. I mean, no, we're not. Jake, you go first, brother. You go first on that one because we haven't discussed it. Did you see that match? I know you've been working obviously very, very hard this weekend. Is it one?
Yeah, I've only seen one round. It's on my list of things to watch today. I was going to watch it after the fix, but I'm on the fix there. So yeah, I only saw one round and saw John do what John does best. But that Pavlo is a very, very strong guy. So yeah, I can't. Sorry, Kev. Yeah, the one round I saw.
I saw it, and I just continue to be amazed at John Brzenk, what he can do. It's just like everyone comes to a match with John, and the arm wrestling community starts worrying, or they start saying, "Oh, I think that John might be up against it in this one. John might not be able to beat this guy in this lane because look, they're so strong." John just has the answer for everyone, and he just did it again here. He just the rounds where he just laid back and defended and then came over the top, and he has such amazing control in all areas on the table. He has the counter for everything that's thrown at him, and his endurance looked phenomenal. He can just go from a defensive position, just slowly work you back, and then he starts looking at you, and it's just amazing. I can't believe it. And then round 3 where he went into Pavlo's hook, gave him everything he wanted, and then just held him, and then just you start to see that John Brzenk drag, and the head shakes a bit, and he just opens him up, and John's phenomenal. I just can't believe how phenomenal he is, and with every match that he has, where he has no fear, no hesitation, and then he just dismantles them. It just gives me more and more respect for him.
I've just watched round 1 on the phone, and he just holds a millimeter from the pad, and he goes, "I'll start from here." And just the way he's able to work, unbelievable. Yeah,
that little shake of the head, and then went on the counter. But I agree with Ryan entirely. I mean, it was the John show. Pavlo is rock strong. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But he was disabled and dismembered pretty clinically throughout that match. John took him apart, targeted the hand and wrist early on, and put some bleed into him and some exhaustion. Obviously, Bogdan's got big, powerful arms, so they inflated really quick. At that point, you do start to lose hand and wrist control, which is obviously where John does his best work. And what's interesting with John is, and for all the new arm wrestlers out there, once you've disabled your opponent's hand and wrist, it gives you more opportunity to set the hook where you want it to be. The hook and the nuance of the hook is the control of supination and pronation throughout the movement. So if a guy doesn't have full engagement of their wrist and hand, they can't counter that effectively. Now with John, you're looking at a guy whose application of that's better than anybody probably in history, certainly as good as. So his ability to do that and the transitional movement of John, which is as fluid as it's ever been, there couldn't be a worse guy for you to be in him with. You are clinically when that happens. You're just not going to get anything.
Round 3 was just out of the straps as well, and allowed Pavlo to go to his lane, and John just doing John things. That's how I thought the match would have gone. And I just quickly watched 3 rounds just then. Yeah,
on Pavlo. Pavlo's got clearly great power. He's very, very strong. But as Ryan said, it's the completeness. It's the package that you have with John. It's the ability. And another thing that, I got asked the other day on the show, who did I have? And I said John at a canter. And the reason I said that, again, it's not disrespect to Pavlo. The other thing that I had in my mind was that John's also had an opportunity to train with Pavlo and to pull Pavlo a little bit beforehand. They went to, I can't remember which training it was, but there was a training not too long ago. We're talking 2 or 3 months ago, a couple of months ago, where the lads were there and John was doing what John does. He sort of lets you go everywhere. He feels all the positions and he finds lanes. And so the next time that you do pull, if you pull in a tournament, he's got a recollection of those lanes. He knows where he's going to be and he knows exactly what he's going to do. And that, for me, also was a big factor. If you've pulled with John, trained with John for a little bit, not good.
No, he's the Terminator. And all that data just sits there and he holds on to it. And Pavlo obviously trained with him and went, I want this match. And John went, okay, I will destroy you.
You saw from the whole demeanor of John that he was extremely relaxed throughout that. So, yeah, the John show, without a shadow of a doubt, he was his usual imperious self, just dominated. Jeremy F., thank you for your super chat, mate. Nothing on there, but thank you very much indeed. Really appreciate it. And we got a super chat from Senecals. Should the morbidly obese Georgian apologise to Devon for his unbelievable overreaction? I'm going to have to tap out on this because I haven't. I mean, I'm a massive fan of Levan Saganashvili. I really like the dude. Levan, to me, seems like a very, very level-headed lad. And if he's, I don't know how much people are sort of stirring this up and saying that he's angry or saying how upset he is or whatever. He's playing along with it a little bit. I'm pretty sure that Levan will show up quite level-headed and ready to do what he does. I'm also sure that Devon's going to try and wind him up as much as he possibly can. I'm a massive fan of Devon as well, as everybody knows. One of my closest friends in the game. And that's part of his game. And I think he'll apply it to the fullest extent. So, yeah. Expect more, not less, mate. Expect more, not less. But I don't think you'll be getting any apologies from Levan. What's your take on that, lads?
Yeah, something had happened on, I believe, I'm probably the worst person to ask because I've been too busy with Over the Top, but apparently something happened on Levan. Levan was live with Engen just the other morning. And I think something had come from that and then these reaction videos and Devon fired back. So it's just the usual 1-2 counter punch on that. So I've got to go back and watch it all before my flight home today. But yeah, it's I'm not too sure because so many people twist and turn everything. I haven't got enough time. And if you watch the wrong video, I was like, well, that was a waste of 10 minutes. Like I could have had a pot noodle and a wank. Like it's like I needed something like something else to watch. Yeah, because I'm not too sure about this apology and whatnot. Just more mind games, hype the match up. I personally love all that, but it's just finding the right videos to talk about it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see as we head into this one and the reaction of Levan, whether or not Devon chooses to put his foot to the boards in that a little bit and continue to wind him up and try and mentally unsettle Levan, because it is a very, very effective weapon with the right person. And I don't know of anybody that's done that before with Levan, so I don't know how he's going to react to it. Whether he does there's always the cultural thing to think about with Eastern Europe. There's a lot of pride, there's a lot of respect there. There's a different set of criteria. The sort of banter, as we call it, isn't as prominent in Eastern Europe. And you've got to toe the line a little bit, or if you go into that, you got to accept.
Well, that's what I think we heard. Again, I'm just getting this. This is secondhand information. I haven't seen the videos, but I've heard that Levan said, "Yeah, look, calling someone a pussy in Georgia might get you killed or whatever." And I think in Devon's reaction video, he said, "All right, you big, soft, fluffy teddy bear." He called him that instead. He said, "Look, we can't be best friends anymore. We're not going to be able to go out and get ice cream together." So the mind games continue from Devon. He just said, he acknowledged that he can't call him that, and he started calling him some very friendly, soft, cuddly creature toys instead. So I think the mind games will continue. And as you said, Neil, we don't know how Levan ultimately handles it. It will push him in a way that he's never experienced before. And what that does to his physical performance, will he be reactive? Will he maintain composure? It's all to be seen. But we know Devon's comfortable in that environment. So it's got to help him, if anyone.
Yeah, he's going to create that chaos environment if he can. As I say, expect more of that. White Wolf with a super chat. He's put, Jerry was on this morning and looking huge. He said he discussed with Devon pulling after the Levan match, a double or nothing match. I mean, an interesting one. The other one that has got to happen again is Michael and Jerry. I mean, it's got to. Yeah. After the way that finished last time, who the hell doesn't want to see that? And those guys always cause each other massive problems. It's a great match. So Cold Stone. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, but if I'm going the early crow and making a prediction, I reckon that'll happen at not the next, but the one after the Monster Michael Todd pay-per-view. I reckon that'll be the
factory event. I think Mike's next gig's July 9th, isn't it? Where he pulls John.
Yeah, and he pulls Todd Hutchings.
Has that changed? I thought he was pulling Todd Hutchings.
Todd, excuse me. And yeah, John's pulling there though, isn't he? Who the hell's John got?
He's pulling Corey West in the main event. And then, so I reckon the Monster Factory after that will be, just a guess, would be,
quite possible. So Cold Stone with the super chat. How do you guys feel about Rob's opinion on social media not being good for the sport?
I haven't heard it. I haven't heard the opinion, so
I'll have to watch it.
Hard to know a specific response. So I won't address Rob specifically, but I'll say of social media that it's net positive by a mile. There are negative components to it for sure, but the net is a positive return. Absolutely. Without social media, the last 2 years in arm wrestling, it doesn't exist. So
I think how he tempers a lot of things he say. He'll say something and justify a point, but then it'll almost sound contradictory in some respects, but he'll have layers within that. And he'll maybe point out elements within social media that are negative and things, if they're applied at that are negative. But
I agree in that respect. I've got my issues with social media as well, and I have opinions that I don't think help the sport at all. They damage and piss off the big players of the sport that are doing the most work for holding it up. So I don't like seeing too much relentless tearing down of promoters and referees and things like that, and or athletes that are doing a lot. So it takes a long time for athletes, promoters, and everyone to get used to criticisms from the faceless internet. And that can be damaging. You can force a promoter to not want to do an event again. You can force an athlete to no longer just make constant content to promote the sport in general. So it can be damaging. I think it's ultimately just part of the evolution of the sport. I'm sure that there will come a time, if arm wrestling gets big enough, where we won't actually be able to find the top stars on social media. You won't have their personal account to attack, like we can't in any other major sport. We can't go and find Roger Federer on Facebook. So I think it will get to that point eventually as the sport grows, but we're in that middle ground at the moment where still everyone's accessible. It is one big community. All the elites are there. You can talk to them, chat to them. You can throw stones at them if you want to. And the thing is, that is a negative component. And I know that Rob has copped plenty of stones in the last 12 months. He's got plenty of support too. So he's loved and hated. But I agree that there are definite negative components, but the net positive overall, without social media, we don't have the arm wrestling careers that we currently do.
Every now and again, somebody throws in a super chat, which is true genius. And here we go.
White Wolf.
And he writes, I was at a goat farm the other day, and they had a photo of John Brzenk up on the wall. It was really weird seeing all those goats staring at that photo.
Yeah.
Hey?
That's out there.
From downtown. Oh, that's a good one.
Thanks very much for that, White Wolf.
I feel like I want to give White Wolf his $10 back for that quality. So come up with another one and say thank you.
I got that, mate. Credit where it's due. That's pretty strong work. So, guys, we're going to be jumping off here in a couple of minutes, so don't send any more super chats through. I'm going to let these guys get on with the day. It's at silly o'clock over in Australia when these guys come on. I think we start Australian time is something like 6:30 for real. 6:30 a.m. So yeah, they come on early doors. But before we go, here we go. So James,
here's the rally.
Here we go. We'll just tee this up because I've got to get Ryan on with Bogdan later in the week. But we talked. You've seen obviously the Arm Wars shows, mate. I've seen you in the chat.
Yes. Congratulations. It's fantastic.
You're enjoying the shows. So anybody who's in the chat, if you haven't seen the new Arm Wars channel and you haven't seen the Iron House shows, you really do need to get over and check them out. You really do. Should get over there, check that stuff out. It's different. So, Jake, you've seen a lot of Bogdan Stoica. You know Ryan very well. What do you think of that match?
Well played. Well played.
I love it. Anything that's drama. Am I going to go for my friend Ryan? Of course I'm going to go for my friend. But the way those last two matches when Stoica finds his lane and everything, he is ultra impressive. And if I'm heading off to the local betting market and things like that, Stoica goes in as favourite for this matchup, in my opinion. It'll be a fun matchup. Now that I've seen Ryan pull a European, and I said to Ryan after the match before he even said anything, I said, "Oh, look, Ryan, you did lose, but I feel like you didn't pull the right way." And then to hear Ryan sit there, he goes, "Yeah, I wanted to do this, and I'll see you one match ahead, blah blah blah." But yeah, Stoica going as clear favourite and can do some real damage. But I'm always going to shrug the shoulders and go for me, mate. Of course I am.
And Ryan, you said to me that you are obviously really up for this. In fact, I think your exact words were, "You've never been more up for anyone." Even Alan Ford is in the chat, and he's put,
"What about Ryan versus Alan Ford
of Canada's Wipeout?" Could be a great match, Alan. But
well, look, we got to address one thing at a time. First, Bogdan is the most anticipated match I've ever had because of just the personality that came out from him through the Arm Wars match. He obviously my good buddy Jordan Davis, he murdered him, and I just all the words that came out of Bogdan's mouth. I just want to show him. And then he beat Dallas, and he beat Dallas well. Not as well as I beat Dallas, though. I'll remind you, Bogdan.
He had 20 minutes earlier as well. It is important to know. 6-round super match, 20 minutes.
Yeah, okay. I will give him that. What I noticed in Bogdan on the Dallas match was that if it stopped anywhere, Dallas was in control. It was only silver ball. It was only all the way to the pad that Bogdan was doing it. Where, and I guess that shows you a difference in the style of our strengths. Bogdan, I've no doubt has more offensive nature to him, and I've got more defensive nature. I mean, the 3 rounds that I won against Dallas, the first and most insignificant one was one where it stopped. I held him, and ultimately he gassed underneath that. So a very different way in which we go about it. And then in the end, I was just pinning Dallas decisively. It was comfortable, but because I'd bled him out. So I think the stylistic matchup between Bogdan and I is very, very diverse. He can pull anywhere. I think I can pull anywhere, and he's more offensive. I'm defensive. So he'll be throwing punches at me, and I'll be catching them and dodging them. And he's admitted openly that he will pin himself. So I take my hat off to him that he understands his weaponry enough that he'll actually put pride aside and will pin himself so he can fire another cannon off the go. I will make him pin himself 6 times. I'll do it 6 times. He'll pin himself. I want to set a new record for humiliating Bogdan Stoica, and he will pin himself 6 times. Is the call from my side if I get my way. And stylistically, round 1, it's going to be his press against my side pressure. I'm not going to run from him like everyone else. Everyone else is trying to get around or be tricky and avoid his press. I'm gonna hit him head on with side pressure, and we're going to see who gives up on their center table integrity. That's the first fight that I want to know. If he beats me there and he gets through, then that's all right. I've got other counters. I'll go to the top roll, and we'll see what he can do there. But I want to make a point. The first time we group up, I'm coming head on straight at him, not with a press, but with side pressure. And yeah, I can't wait. It's phenomenally exciting in my head. When I allow myself to imagine what it would be like in the room, the shivers start going down my spine, the hairs stand up. It's like, oh man, just let me have it.
Yeah, I think it.
And Alan Ford, I'm down for a match with Alan Ford. For the record, I'm down for a match with Alan Ford. To Alan, I've told you this in private messages, and feel free to message me privately again. But the public version of the story that I'm willing to tell you is that when Bogdan Semyonov's visa was cancelled, Alan, I put out a call to see who was available in the world to immediately, in that same week that Bogdan was potentially to come out, who was immediately available, and Alan was the only person that was really immediately available. The problem was when I looked up flights from Ottawa to Brisbane, in that sense, they weren't affordable on my budget because I had just lost the Facebook page. They were just too much from Ottawa. They were too much. Since then, so it had to be put on the back burner straight away. I said, oh, look, can't do it, Alan, for this 2 weeks. Since then, Alan's expressed, look, you still love to do it. And I've said there is a possibility of it to happen in May. And here we are now in May. We've got over the top completed, no injuries or anything, just tenderness. So in about 2 to 3 weeks, I could be back in competition form. Just to get this done. So it now comes down to assessing finances again. At the end of the day, this is something that I offered Alan in terms of I would cover his travel expenses. So the most important thing is that I need to be able to afford it. I still don't have the revenue that I had in the company now that the Facebook page is gone, but we're in a process of rebuilding. So it's about money.
What do you think Alan brings to you?
Well, first of all, when Alan said that he was available, I was really grateful because Alan's the level of arm wrestler that he has respect on the international scene. He's done some great things, particularly against RVJ, particularly against Todd Hutchins in a long time ago, like was it 2013 or something? I think he had great matches with Todd and RVJ. And I know he's declared that he wants to make a resurgence into the sport. He wants to get his social media up and running and going. So it's a good opportunity in that respect. And I just respect him as an arm wrestler. I think he's a solid level arm wrestler. So I think that he and I, it'd be crazy of me to not anticipate a highly competitive match. So yeah, and he's well known enough that it's a good storyline, and yeah.
Because you know where I was thinking straight off when you first brought that up, I thought, oh, what happened to squeezing the lemon?
Yeah. Well, Brendan's massive right now. That's one thing. I think Brendan is like 109 kilos or something. He's huge. I'm 90. I'm 91. He's 109. Yeah. So I would face BLM for sure, but we're not the same weight, and so it would be. I'll concede that it would be an uphill battle, knowing how talented Brendan is, and knowing the 20 kilo weight difference currently. I think it would mean it's a big uphill battle for me. I mean, I'll do it, but it's a big uphill battle.
Alan, what's your weight, mate? Just put in the chat what your weight is, Alan.
And you got to remember, Ryan is a very good. Yeah, Ryan's very good at marking and everything, and he sees potential in the Canadian wipeout crowd. So he's going to try and tap into that. So that's why he wants Alan Ford. So everyone that watches Canadian wipeout, Ryan's going to get those fans to come over and come to his channel. You're going to get that wipeout with crowd here.
His threat is, Jake, for Ryan. What have you watched much of Alan?
I love Alan Ford. I think the ability to put someone in an uncomfortable position in a quick matter of time, not so much finding Alan's own way, but I think Alan can come to the table like a Swiss Army knife. So he has the ability in the setup. Most people are wanting to go to their sweet spot, going to their lane. From watching Alan, he has an ability to knock you off center and then go to his strong point to finish the match. So I like it, and I'm the same as you, Neil. I'd be interested to see their weights and see Alan pull more regularly. I like the matchup. I think it can go deep into the rounds because both of them, and the internet's going to have hated because I am saying that Ryan is very intelligent on the table, and so is Alan. So I whilst an arm wrestling match is going on, I'm picturing them both playing chess and trying to make millimeters into magic. Oh my God, I saw that thumb hair on your knuckle on a little bit to the left, and Alan will go, and then suddenly he's got the advantage. I think it's a very intelligent way to arm wrestle that match, and that's why they'll be able to. I think they'll have an absolute screamer.
Interesting stuff. So that's another match. Everybody wants a piece of Ryan Bowen at the moment.
Yeah. I'm down for it. The travel's there as well. That's the other exciting thing for me is that I can travel again. So I'm confirmed with Engen in August. I'm waiting to see if I end up on King of the Table 4. I'm confirmed with you for Armwars. I will be there, and I would love to do a USA tour as well. There's just so many things that I want to do the remainder of this year.
Interesting stuff. So I'm gonna get a show together later this week with Evan Burgoyne. Now,
there's another man.
It strikes me as an opportunity missed. If at that time I didn't try to get Bogdan Stoica, Alan Ford from Canada's Wipeout, and yourself on that show, Ryan.
Yeah,
it's like a vicious circle.
Would they band together? Would they band together against me? Those three, you think, or would they?
Well, just to make sure that doesn't happen, I'm also going to go to try and get RVJ on. So, can you imagine that? It'd be like the greatest. I mean,
I'm ready for it.
I'm gonna go for it. So, guys,
that's arm wrestling's death match.
Oh my God, ridiculous. Guys, if you like to talk about arm wrestling, get yourself over to armwrestlingforums.com. If you haven't been over to Arm Wrestling Forums, you need to go over. Check this out. It's like the old Northeast message board. You can talk about arm wrestling till your tits fall off. Just get over there and get on it. Whether it's training and techniques for the new guys, whether it's events, whether it's opinions on did Ryan cheat or not, you can just talk about it non-stop. It will never stop. You can go over, spend your night on there and stay up, and you too will look like Jake Ward does right now when he's pulled another all-nighter. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. A few hours on armwrestlingforums.com and you will look like you've been through it. There you go.
It's moments like these I appreciate my wife. I set my alarm. I set my alarm for 6:20, and I was like, beauty, I'm not even going to get out of bed and have a coffee. I'm just going to sit there on my phone and watch the fix. And I was like, awesome, cool. And then suddenly, I get the call up, and I was like, jump out of bed, I run and grab everything. Yep, I'm ready. I don't care how balls up I look. I'm coming on. I'm having a laugh. I want to talk about over the top. So.
It's been nice getting you on here, Jake. And I know you work your ass off this weekend over the top, mate. Get yourself some of this, Jake. That's what you want.
That's delicious. Yes. I've been looked after by Western Survivor. Top.
Vandal's very own.
Top notch. Adam's the man when it comes to beef jerky.
In the fucking world. This is it. Western Survivor, www.westernsurvivor.ca. Get over there, guys. Check it out. Cracked peppercorn is the kiddie. Get it. Do it. Have it. Ladies and gents, if this is your first time here on Supernatural Strength, please like, share, and subscribe. Until we see you next time, take it easy, peeps.